Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the incredible story behind a tiny piece of American history that most people overlook, the legendary USA Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance it might look like just another old penny, but hidden inside this small copper coin is a powerful connection to the final days of World War II, a time when the world was changing forever. This coin carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest leaders in American history, and it may be worth far more than 1 cent if you know what to look for. In this video, we're going to reveal the secrets, the hidden value, and the fascinating history behind this remarkable coin. So before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because you never know. The next rare coin we talk about might already be hiding in your pocket right now. Let's get started. First up in the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny begins during one of the most dramatic periods in world history, when the United States and its allies were approaching the end of World War II. Minted in 1945 at the famous Denver Mint, this humble copper coin represents much more than its face value of 1 cent. It was produced during a year filled with hope, sacrifice, and global transformation, and millions of these pennies circulated through American pockets during the final chapter of the war. Every small scratch and worn edge on a surviving example tells a silent story about the people who used it. Soldiers buying small comforts, families managing wartime budgets, and children saving coins in glass jars. Although it may appear like an ordinary coin at first glance, collectors and historians recognize the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny as a small but powerful symbol of American resilience and everyday life during a historic era. The design of the coin centers on one of America's most respected leaders, Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has appeared on the penny since 1909. The design was created by talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose artistic vision gave the coin a dignified yet simple appearance that has endured for generations. On the front, or obverse, Lincoln's profile faces right, accompanied by the words, "In God We Trust," above his head and "Liberty" to the side, with the year 1945 stamped clearly beside it. Just beneath the date lies the small but important D mint mark, signifying that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Brenner's design was revolutionary at the time because it was the first regular-issue American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure, and over time it became one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. Turning the coin over reveals the classic wheat reverse design that gave the coin its popular nickname, the Wheat Penny. The reverse features 2 curved wheat stalks framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, along with the national motto, E Pluribus Unum. These wheat stalks symbolize prosperity, growth, and the agricultural strength that helped build the nation. During the 1940s, this imagery carried special meaning, as American farms were working tirelessly to supply food not only for the country, but also for soldiers and allies overseas. The wheat design, used from 1909 until 1958, eventually became one of the most beloved coin designs in American numismatic history, and collectors often consider the 1945 example to be among the most historically meaningful pieces produced during the final wartime years. In 1945, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies to meet the needs of a growing wartime economy. Although the coin was made primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, its composition reflects a fascinating chapter in American coinage history. Just a few years earlier, in 1943, copper had been temporarily replaced with steel due to wartime shortages, creating the famous steel pennies. By 1945, copper coinage had returned, often made from recycled wartime shell casings, adding another layer of symbolism to these small coins. Imagine the remarkable journey, from materials once used in wartime ammunition to a peaceful coin exchanged in everyday commerce. That transformation makes the 1945 penny not just currency, but also a reminder of how nations adapt during times of crisis. Collectors today are particularly fascinated by the mint mark on this coin. The D located below the year signifies its origin at the Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities in the United States. While the Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without mint marks, and the San Francisco Mint used an S, the Denver Mint's D has become highly recognizable among collectors. Although millions were struck, the condition of surviving examples varies greatly, and coins with sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear are far more desirable. For coin enthusiasts, Even a small difference in condition can dramatically affect a coin's value, making the search for well-preserved examples both challenging and exciting. The value of a 1945 D. Lincoln Wheat penny can vary widely depending on its condition and rarity factors. In worn or circulated condition, the coin may only be worth a small amount above its face value, often just a few cents or a couple of dollars. However, uncirculated examples with strong details and bright copper color can sell for significantly higher prices, especially when graded by professional coin grading services. In rare cases, exceptionally preserved coins, or those with unique minting errors, may attract strong interest from collectors and auction buyers. This wide range of potential value makes the coin fascinating for both beginner collectors and experienced numismatists alike. Beyond monetary value, the real appeal of the 1945 D. Wheat penny lies in the history it carries. Each coin passed through countless hands during a time when the world was undergoing enormous change. The year 1945 marked the end of World War II, the beginning of a new global order, and the return of millions of soldiers to civilian life. Coins like this circulated through grocery stores, movie theaters, and small-town shops across America, quietly witnessing the daily lives of ordinary people. Holding one today is like holding a tiny artifact from that historic moment, a connection between modern collectors and the past. For many coin collectors, discovering a 1945 D. penny in an old jar, family collection, or inherited box of coins can spark the beginning of a lifelong passion for numismatics. The thrill of examining the details, checking the mint mark, and imagining where the coin has traveled over the decades makes coin collecting both educational and deeply personal. Some collectors search for rare variations or pristine examples, while others simply enjoy preserving pieces of history. Either way, the 1945 D. Wheat penny often becomes a gateway coin that introduces people to the fascinating world of American coinage. Another fascinating aspect of the 1945 D. Lincoln Wheat penny is the possibility of minting errors and unusual variations that occasionally appear among surviving examples. While most coins were struck perfectly according to standard minting procedures, a small number left the presses with unique imperfections such as off-center strikes, doubled lettering, die cracks, or weak impressions caused by worn minting dies. For collectors, these mint errors can transform an ordinary penny into an extraordinary discovery. Even a subtle doubling of the date or letters can significantly increase a coin's desirability among numismatists. Because the Denver Mint was producing coins at extremely high speeds in 1945 to meet the demands of a booming economy, minor irregularities sometimes slipped through quality checks, and decades later these unusual variations have become prized treasures hidden within old coin collections. The metal composition of the 1945 D. penny also tells an important story about the American economy and wartime resource management. After the temporary use of steel pennies in 1943 due to copper shortages during World War II, the United States returned to producing pennies from copper-based alloys by 1944 and 1945. In the end, the 1945 D. Lincoln Wheat penny is far more than a simple copper coin worth 1 cent. It represents an era defined by courage, sacrifice, and rebuilding after global conflict. From its elegant portrait of Abraham Lincoln to its symbolic wheat design and wartime history, the coin stands as a miniature monument to American heritage. Whether it sits in a collector's display case or rests quietly in an old coin jar, this penny reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry powerful stories. Stories of history, resilience, and the enduring legacy of a nation. Next up in the 1950 United States Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1-cent wheat penny stands as a remarkable piece of American numismatic history, embodying not just monetary value, but a rich tapestry of cultural and historical significance. Minted 5 years after the conclusion of World War II, this coin reflects a period of post-war prosperity and national reflection, a time when America was solidifying its identity on the global stage. Unlike modern pennies, the 1950 wheat penny carries the iconic wheat ears on the reverse side, symbolizing both the country's agricultural roots and its enduring values of growth, sustenance, and resilience. Collectors and historians alike often marvel at the coin's design, where the dignified profile of President Abraham Lincoln graces the obverse, offering a timeless reminder of the 16th president's legacy in guiding the nation through the trials of civil war and toward unity. The obverse of the 1950 wheat penny, with Lincoln's profile finely detailed, is more than just a depiction of a historical figure. It is a representation of leadership, perseverance, and moral fortitude. Every line etched into the coin carries the subtle intricacies of mid-20th century minting techniques, showcasing the skill and precision of the United States Mint during that era. The lettering encircling Lincoln's portrait, bearing the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1950, serves as both a patriotic reminder and a historical timestamp, connecting the coin to a specific moment in American history. For collectors, these details are crucial, as variations in strike quality, depth of detail, and mint marks can significantly influence the coin's rarity and overall value in the market. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears frame the denomination with elegance, emphasizing both aesthetic beauty and symbolic meaning. These twin stalks of wheat, curved gracefully around the edge, were designed to remind citizens of the nation's agricultural prosperity and the foundational importance of hard work and sustenance to the American way of life. The inscription 1 cent at the center, accompanied by United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, links the coin to the broader narrative of unity and national identity, echoing the founding principles that Lincoln himself championed. For modern collectors, the wheat penny reverse is particularly coveted, as it represents a design era that was phased out in 1959, making surviving coins like the 1950 edition highly desirable. The 1950 wheat penny also holds particular significance for numismatists due to its production history. Minted during a transitional period in American coinage, it reflects a time when the United States Mint was balancing post-war material shortages, rising population demands for currency, and evolving minting technology. The 1950 edition was primarily struck at the Philadelphia Mint, lacking a mint mark, which can affect both rarity and collector interest when compared to coins from other mints with distinguishing marks. Examining these subtle variations provides collectors with insight into the historical and industrial context of the era, revealing stories beyond the coin's immediate appearance. From a market perspective, the 1950 wheat penny is a fascinating study in supply, demand, and condition grading. While not among the rarest wheat pennies, its value can fluctuate significantly depending on preservation, luster, and circulation wear. Coins in mint condition or with minimal wear are highly sought after by collectors, as they capture the pristine artistry of mid-century minting. Even pennies in circulated condition hold historical allure, as the patina and minor abrasions tell a story of everyday American life during the 1950s, offering a tangible connection to the past that paper money simply cannot provide. This blend of history, artistry, and scarcity is what gives the 1950 wheat penny its enduring appeal in the numismatic world. Collectors often find themselves fascinated by the subtle details that distinguish individual coins, such as die variations, strike pressure, and slight differences in the shape and depth of the wheat ears or Lincoln's facial features. These minor inconsistencies, sometimes imperceptible to the untrained eye, are a treasure trove for numismatists who enjoy uncovering the uniqueness in mass-produced items. Even small anomalies can create dramatic increases in market value, transforming an otherwise common coin into a prized collectible. The 1950 wheat penny thus represents both accessibility for casual collectors and a sophisticated challenge for more seasoned enthusiasts seeking rare specimens. Beyond its monetary and collectible value, the 1950 wheat penny embodies a cultural legacy that connects generations of Americans. Many families have preserved these pennies as heirlooms, passed down through decades as tokens of remembrance, history, and nostalgia. For some, finding a 1950 wheat penny in circulation can trigger a sense of wonder and connection to a time before modern technology dominated daily life. This emotional resonance is a key reason why the coin continues to captivate collectors, educators, and history enthusiasts alike, bridging the gap between tangible currency and intangible heritage. The coin's aesthetic appeal is further enhanced by its compact size, copper composition, and distinctive warm tone, which can range from rich reddish-brown to deep chocolate hues depending on storage conditions and circulation history. This versatility in appearance adds an artistic dimension to its collectible value, allowing collectors to curate personal collections that showcase variations in color, patina, and overall condition. Moreover, the 1950 wheat penny serves as an entry point for aspiring collectors, offering an attainable yet historically significant item that can inspire lifelong interest in numismatics and American history. In conclusion, the 1950 United States Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1-cent wheat penny is much more than a simple coin. It is a miniature monument to American history, craftsmanship, and cultural identity. Its design, historical context, collectible significance, and emotional resonance all contribute to its enduring popularity among collectors and historians alike. Whether studied for its intricate details, preserved as part of a collection, or simply admired for its connection to a pivotal period in America's past, this penny remains a testament to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the nation he helped guide. Owning or even glimpsing a 1950 wheat penny offers a tangible link to a moment in time when the values of unity, perseverance, and national pride were etched into both history and the copper of a humble coin. The 1950 wheat penny also serves as a lens through which one can explore the broader socioeconomic conditions of post-war America. Emerging just 5 years after the end of World War II, this penny circulated during a period of rapid industrial expansion, suburban growth, and the baby boom era. Its widespread use meant it passed through countless hands, from bustling urban streets to quiet rural towns, embedding itself into the everyday life of millions of Americans. For collectors today, each scratch, toning, or patina on a circulated penny is a subtle narrative of the past, a silent witness to the countless transactions, pockets, and purses it touched, effectively making every coin a storyteller of mid-20th century America. Numismatically, the 1950 wheat penny reflects fascinating trends in minting technology and material composition. Made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin demonstrates a careful balance between durability and aesthetic appeal. The copper surface allowed for fine detailing in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse, ensuring that even decades later, these details remain crisp in well-preserved specimens. Additionally, the coin's composition made it susceptible to natural oxidation, resulting in the rich reddish-brown toning that many collectors prize. This natural aging process not only adds uniqueness to each coin, but also demonstrates the interplay between chemistry and history, where metal and environment combine to create a living piece of Americana. Collectors often pay particular attention to the subtle differences in strike quality and die variations among 1950 wheat pennies. Some coins were struck with greater pressure, producing deeper relief and sharper lines, while others are slightly softer due to high-volume minting demands. These nuances can significantly influence a coin's grade and market value, making the 1950 wheat penny a fascinating study for both novice and advanced collectors. Even minor imperfections, such as die cracks or doubled lettering, can transform an otherwise common coin into a highly sought-after rarity. This element of discovery is what keeps numismatics engaging, as every penny has the potential to reveal hidden quirks that elevate it from ordinary currency to a collectible gem. Beyond the technical aspects, the 1950 wheat penny carries symbolic resonance that extends far beyond its face value. Lincoln's portrait reminds Americans of leadership and moral courage, while the wheat ears symbolize sustenance, growth, and prosperity, core values that were particularly meaningful during the post-war period of Reconstruction and hope. The coin, in essence, acts as a small yet powerful emblem of national pride, reflecting a country striving for unity, progress, and stability. For collectors, educators, and history enthusiasts, the 1950 penny is more than copper. It is a tangible artifact of American ideals, a daily reminder that even the smallest objects can carry profound meaning. Next up in the 1938 United States 1-cent wheat penny begins with one of the most recognizable figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait proudly appears on the front of this historic coin. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln wheat penny quickly became one of the most beloved coins ever produced by the United States Mint. By the time the 1938 penny was struck, the coin had already circulated for nearly 3 decades, quietly passing through the hands of millions of Americans during one of the most difficult economic periods in the nation's history. Holding a 1938 wheat penny today is like holding a small piece of American resilience, a reminder of the years when families struggled through the lingering effects of the Great Depression, yet everyday commerce continued with simple copper coins like this 1-cent piece. The design of the 1938 wheat penny is simple yet deeply symbolic. On the obverse side, Lincoln's calm and dignified profile faces to the right, surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1938 on the right. This iconic portrait was designed by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VB were originally placed on the coin in 1909 and became a fascinating story of their own among collectors. The reverse side features two elegant wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E Pluribus Unum arching above. These wheat stalks symbolized America's agricultural strength and prosperity, making the coin feel deeply connected to the hardworking farmers and rural communities that helped shape the nation during the early 20th century. In 1938, wheat pennies were produced at 3 different mint facilities across the United States, each leaving its own subtle mark on history. The main production came from the Philadelphia Mint, which struck the majority of the coins and produced pennies without any mint mark. Meanwhile, additional coins were minted at the Denver Mint and the San Francisco Mint, identified by the small d or s mint marks located just below the date on the coin's obverse side. Each mint had slightly different production numbers, which today play a significant role in determining a coin's rarity and value. Collectors often spend years searching for all 3 variations of the 1938 penny, carefully comparing their details and conditions to complete a perfect set. The historical backdrop of 1938 adds another layer of meaning to this humble copper coin. America was still recovering from the devastating economic collapse known as the Great Depression, which had begun in 1929 and left millions unemployed and struggling to survive. During this time, even a single penny carried real purchasing power. People counted every cent, and coins like the 1938 wheat penny were used daily to buy food, pay for transportation, or contribute to savings jars in homes across the country. In many ways, these small coins witnessed the perseverance of ordinary Americans who worked tirelessly to rebuild their lives and their economy. Another fascinating aspect of the 1938 wheat penny is the way its copper composition reflects the materials and technology of the era. The coin was struck using an alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it the warm reddish color that collectors love today. Over decades of circulation, many of these coins developed beautiful brown or chocolate tones as the copper aged and reacted with the environment. Some coins show heavy wear from years of use, while others remain surprisingly sharp and detailed, especially those that were saved early by collectors who recognized their historical value. When it comes to rarity, the 1938 wheat penny is not considered extremely scarce, but certain versions and conditions can be surprisingly valuable. High-grade examples, particularly those that still display their original mint luster, are highly sought after in the world of coin collecting. Professional grading organizations, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, carefully evaluate coins based on factors like strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A perfectly preserved 1938 penny can sell for far more than its original face value, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars depending on the grade and mint mark. Collectors are also fascinated by the possibility of minting errors or unusual varieties in coins like the 1938 wheat penny. Occasionally, small mistakes during the minting process create coins with doubled letters, off-center strikes, or other unusual features that make them extremely desirable to specialists. These rare variations can transform an ordinary penny into a prized collectible worth significantly more than standard examples. Because of this possibility, many collectors carefully examine every wheat penny they find, hoping to discover a hidden treasure that has been overlooked for decades. The popularity of wheat pennies has remained strong for generations, and the 1938 coin continues to play an important role in that tradition. Many collectors begin their numismatic journey by searching through old jars of pennies or inherited collections, and the sight of those distinctive wheat stalks on the reverse instantly sparks curiosity. For beginners, the 1938 penny represents an accessible piece of history, old enough to feel special but common enough that it can still be found without extraordinary difficulty. This balance makes it a perfect introduction to the fascinating hobby of coin collecting. Ultimately, the 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is far more than just a 1-cent coin. It represents an era of endurance, craftsmanship, and national pride, connecting modern collectors with the everyday lives of Americans who lived nearly a century ago. From the artistry of Victor David Brenner to the powerful legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself, every detail of this coin tells a story about the nation that created it. Whether discovered in a pocket change jar, passed down through a family collection, or carefully preserved in a coin album, the 1938 wheat penny remains a timeless reminder that even the smallest objects can carry extraordinary history. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1938 wheat penny is how it reflects the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a president whose influence on the United States remains powerful even today. Lincoln's image on the penny was not chosen randomly. It was meant to honor his leadership during the American Civil War and his dedication to preserving the Union and ending slavery. By 1938, Lincoln had already been a national symbol of unity and perseverance for decades, and placing his portrait on the most commonly used coin ensured that Americans encountered his legacy every single day. In a time when the country was recovering from economic hardship, Lincoln's calm and determined expression on the penny served as a quiet reminder of strength, resilience, and hope for the future. Another remarkable element of the 1938 wheat penny lies in the craftsmanship behind its creation. At the facilities of the United States Mint, large presses struck thousands of pennies every hour, carefully imprinting Lincoln's portrait and the famous wheat stalk design onto copper planchets. Despite the massive production numbers, each coin carried small variations that make coin collecting so fascinating today. Tiny differences in strike quality, surface marks, or mint luster can significantly influence a coin's desirability among collectors. Even two pennies minted in the same year and location can look surprisingly different after decades of circulation, which is why enthusiasts often spend years studying and comparing examples from their collections. The journey of a typical 1938 wheat penny through American society is also a story worth imagining. After leaving the mint, the coin might have been transported in large bags to banks across the country, eventually finding its way into the pockets of shopkeepers, farmers, factory workers, and schoolchildren. A single penny might have been used to purchase candy at a small-town store, dropped into a charity box, or saved in a jar by a family hoping to build a small reserve of coins during difficult times. These simple everyday transactions form an invisible network of stories connected to the coin, reminding us that money is not just a tool of commerce, but also a witness to the daily lives of ordinary people. Over time, many 1938 wheat pennies disappeared from circulation as collectors began recognizing their historical value. Enthusiasts carefully searched through rolls of coins and pocket change, pulling out older wheat pennies and preserving them in albums and protective holders. This growing interest helped establish a vibrant community of numismatists who study the history, design, and rarity of coins in great detail. Organizations like the American Numismatic Association encourage collectors to learn more about coins, share discoveries, and preserve important pieces of monetary history for future generations. Today, the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny continues to capture the imagination of collectors and history lovers around the world. Although millions were originally produced, finding a well-preserved example can still be exciting, especially one with sharp details and original copper color. For many people, discovering such a coin feels like uncovering a small artifact from the past, linking the modern world to the struggles and achievements of an earlier generation. Whether valued for its historical significance, artistic design, or connection to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the 1938 wheat penny remains a powerful reminder that even the smallest coin can carry a remarkable story through time.